Hello everyone, this is a bit of an impromptu live stream. I wasn't really planning on going live today, that's why I didn't make any sort of announcement or anything like that. I just thought that it was as good a time as any to make a really short stream, see where you guys are at. Probably nowhere, because no one was expecting this stream, so I need to wait a little bit to see who's going to join. This past week, I have put up, released the video on that guitar, on the ES335 style, which is a Coben guitar ES240. That it's relict from factory being my garage. And I'll just show you a little bit more so while we wait for people to join. So this is how it looks. It's in Ford Meadow Green. That High Coat sells in 400 milliliter cans, which is really cool. I could have done a better job with this one, but again, I didn't buy enough, and then I didn't plan ahead, which is the same on. But from a distance, it's quite cool. There's a lot of learning that I did with it. It's a bit of an acoustic. It sounds all right. And I did the video, just something very brief as well. I have like all these dreams and intentions of making these glorious videos with great quality, and then I never do. Thank you, Hat, and your haircut. It's a week ago I went to get a haircut. I told the person exactly what I wanted, and then they completely destroyed it and destroyed the beard as well. That's why it's so much shorter now. So I just had to go somewhere else yesterday to try to get it fixed. So now this is it. I don't know, Dave, if you'd like to join, by all means. If anyone would like to join on screen, you're welcome to do so. So yeah, so this is the ES that is here. The Les Paul style kit I gave to Peter because I couldn't live with two green guitars in my life. It was doing my head in, and I didn't know what to do with them. And instead of just having it be nowhere, I decided to pass it on to Peter. Also, is this? I don't see. Oh no, this is definitely not it. I just realized as well I don't need headphones because no one's speaking to me. Strandbergs. I have, and since we touched them, since you and I touched the Strandbergs at the guitar show, I thought about them on and off. And these Bowden Classics with a price tag of £1,000 is quite tempting. I just feel I don't have the skill to pull them off, to even have them or tell anyone that I have Strandberg, because it feels like, oh, if you have Strandberg, you should be playing more regularly, if nothing else. But the ergonomics do appear to be cool. I am in the process of refinishing my Paisley Strat into Gunmetal Silver, Rover Gunmetal Silver, and sorry, Dave, the Offset P90 into Ash Black, which is a metallic black. Let's see. I wanted to see how it would look, all black pickups and chrome hardware. Maybe even all black, just go all black hardware, which will be hard. I bought a vibrato for the pink offset, thinking that was a Japanese Fender one. It's actually an American one, given the spacing. And what actually tipped me off was the colors of the screw-in and the spring, which means that the vibrato arm alone is £20 or whatever it is, which I don't want to spend on a guitar that I might not have. And then stop it off, this doesn't fit on the pink Jazzmaster thing from Coben, the Jazz M, because I would need to route it, and I never use the hand router. I have a hand router at the moment, but I don't want to do it, so it's gonna leave with that one. Speaking of which, Jazzmasters and Dave and hand routers, I have Dave's guitar. It's still Dave's guitar because I still haven't paid him, but as soon as I can, I will pay for this guitar, which is a very sexy beast indeed. I managed to find witch hat knobs for not a lot of money. So I think the more I think about, like, I thought, oh, maybe I could put this in here, but I don't know if anyone can see, but like this is nickel and this is chrome, and this sort of works everything together. There's no point in ruining it for my use. Maybe I need to see what's making this noise. Maybe a bit of WD-40. Wait, WD-40 fixes all men's problems. So yeah, so at the moment, if you're able to see, I have a bit of a color selection going here on the wall. And then the monochrome collection is coming soon. Which brings us to the monochrome guitars, which is, for example, this Eastman Juliet. And then there is the Shergold, that's gray, the Shergold Provocateur. And then I have the Pitback Semi-Hollow, which is black. And now I'm painting a Strat in silver, gunmetal silver, like dark gray, and the Jazzmaster in black as well. So then I'll have a monochrome grayscale collection, which is very important for you to name the collections of guitars and have several collections. It's perfectly normal and reasonable. The bass is the Harley Benton J Bass Goto. It was a limited edition that no longer exists. It has roasted maple neck, some sort of dark wood, Goto tuners. And it's cool. I've done a few gigs and band practices. Eastman and Epiphone. So, Epiphone came out and released a bunch of guitars that have Gibson hardware. All right? So, let's go a little bit back. Every once in a while, Epiphone will release guitars that had Gibson pickups. Then they did the relaunch of the Epiphone brand and put the Kalamazoo headstock on it, CTS pots, I think Mallory, maybe not Mallory, but Orange Drop capacitors and everything, right? Which is inspired by 50s and 60s. Then they did the Greenie, which was 1,600 pounds or 1,500 pounds, and the Dave Grohl, and the Adam Jones, and the Firebirds. And this past week, they released the Epiphone inspired by Custom Shop, which are Epiphone guitars that have Gibson Custom Buckers, which is the pickups that you find in Custom Shop Gibsons. The Les Paul Custom, so the white and the black, has the 490Rs and 490T, Rhythm and Treble. And although the Les Pauls, the normal Les Pauls, the 59, have Indian Laurel, which is a bit lighter, but could be argued that the Rosewood from earlier years was also a bit lighter, so it's not terrible, really. And for example, I think, I'm not sure. I was gonna say this is Indian Laurel, but I don't know. This might be Rosewood. But I know for sure that the Jazzmaster that I just showed is Indian Laurel. And if I show it here, so which ones are Rosewood, which ones are Ebony, which ones are Indian Laurel, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I think if you're charging what they're charging, and East Coast for 100 pounds can put you Rosewood on your hands, it wouldn't be that much of a problem for Epiphone to have really a Rosewood, but they have Indian Laurel on the Les Paul 59. But this is to say what? That Les Paul Customs have ebony fretboards, and the ES55 has ebony fretboard as well. So I'm not on my setup that I can usually share my screen, but let me see if I can bring that up. Why do I say that this is sort of an attack on Eastman? Because Eastman, for many years now, have existed in the shadows of Gibson, in the sense that you might not be able to get a Gibson, right? But you can get an Eastman, although they are expensive, and some of them are almost 2,000 pounds. But let's say around between 1,000 and 1,500 pounds, you could get an Eastman that had nitro or true tone, Seymour Duncan pickups or lollers depending on the model, and quality woods, one piece necks and bodies and stuff like that. And I think Gibson must have gotten tired of it, and like, we can also do everything that Eastman is making. So they've made these guitars now that have all the great electronics, all the great pickups, everything hardware wise. They look really cool and are 1,200 pounds, so 1,200 pounds, which is really cool in my opinion. If you buy from Bike's Shop, apparently it's even cheaper. Let me show you. Let me show you if I can show. So if I need to start virtual camera and then come back to the stream. Where's the stream? I don't know. I lost the stream. It is here. It is not. Okay. Well, but Rosewood is being used by East Coast. I know that for sure. And Sire and PRS SEs. So I don't think it's a matter of CITES anymore. Let me change the camera to this, meaning now that I can show you this. All right. So this Epiphone here, and it exists. So there is the Shinichi, which is really cool, but it's not available here in the UK usually. But I think it's the better deal really for what it is. So you can get in white, which wouldn't be my preferred color. You can get it in red as well, and the red one is basically, the white one could be as well, the Noel Gallagher guitar, because Noel Gallagher guitar is the AES 355, and this has the same appointment. So ebony boards, a full-on headstock with the open book. Let's see here. You see, so even on stage, if you squint your eyes, but it's not just the logo. It's, for example, the diamond that is great. All the binding, all these things. And I don't think it's even a matter of cost for Gibson, because if Sire and Harley Benton can make these guitars in China for a lot of bang for buck for us, even if this whole guitar is made to the best of the factory capacity, what are they spending? 400 pounds? I doubt it. I doubt it. Usually the trade price for these things, it's 70%. So 70% of it's 700 and something pounds, right? I don't think it's 800 pounds. Or is it 70? 840 pounds that Anderton pays for it. So Gibson is paying way less. And although they are custom buckers that to us could cost 500 pounds, what does it cost to Gibson to make custom buckers or any other pickup other than the materials? So they are making a lot of money probably still, and we are getting an Epiphone that actually has a fighting chance to compete with the Gibsons, because sound wise, feel wise, probably it's not far off. I think the outcome has been that people say that it's just one is nitro and the other one is poly. I think this is pretty cool because, again, I like Oasis. And the Eastman, so the Eastman is the T486 in red, although they have other colors as well that I prefer. That has the split shaft. No, the split parallelograms. It also comes with the case. Seymour Duncan Jazz and 59, really cool looking. But I don't think even that the ES55 is, or this is a copy of the ES55. I think the T59, it is. So our guitars, it always takes forever. Where is it? Let's go to Guitar. That's a quick website. So you see, way more expensive. Seymour Duncan Antiquities and Nitro and handcrafted and flame maple tops and everything. But now it's like, okay, so I can get a very similar guitar that is an Epiphone, and it has the Gibson headstock and logo and heritage and sound for way less. And that was one of the things that when I got an Eastman T486 was the sound that wasn't. I like the sound, but it wasn't the Gibson sound. These usually are only available from Japan. Somehow this one is available here in the UK from Gas Station, although they don't have it on the website. And it is the Pelham Blue, Dave Grohl Pelham Blue with the Trina Lopez half holes, ebony board, I believe as well, and Gibson 57 pickups, but the headstock is your old Kalamazoo. So again, a great option and a guitar of a guitar. So let's just change now the camera settings. Camera settings to this. Okay. So the difference with Epiphone versus others, marketing in terms of cost and also perception. Exactly. So will that work against Epiphone or for Epiphone? Will people be like, oh no, this is the Epiphone custom sort of thing? Or is it going to be like, oh, it's just an Epiphone? Although even that argument sometimes doesn't hold up because there's a lot of Epiphones that retain their value quite well, comparatively, percentage-wise. I mean, that Pelham Blue does look sparkly. They even, I'll show you. I showed Peter this yesterday. I'll show you my what I think now, today, this week, what my dream guitar is. I think it sort of encapsulates a lot of the things that I've been trying to get, and I didn't know this existed until a couple of weeks ago. It's that Shinichi, right? But in this color. Let me show you. Okay, so let's go change cameras again. This is just me. I could have just called Dave, basically. Okay, this is it. It's what I wanted to build. It's what I wanted to do, and it already exists out there. Just need to import it from Japan, which is a bit of a faff and requires me to have the money straight away. But this is it. 355 with all the binding in olive drab green with a case. Ebony board, Gibson 57, which is our pickups that I do like a lot. Grover, it's all there. It's all there. So if anyone would like to give me that for no good reason, because I don't do Christmas or birthdays, but just because you want to, out of the kindness of your heart, by all means, internet. You need that on your SG. Yeah, I think, for example, the high coat colors, the metallic ones, do have a metallic flake. My Strata, I painted, we used primer. I did the wrong order. I used primer and then primer filler instead of like primer filler that creates adhesion and then primer. Even that, I should have used primer filler, waited 24 hours, so come back Sunday, then put primer, and then do the colors. No. What I did with the Strat was primer. So I sanded everything, used polyfiller to fill the holes from the relic and everything. Actually sanded everything smooth, nice. Primer gray. And then I went to the shop. It was like, oh, they have primer filler. I'll just bring that. Mistake number one. I should have gone to the shop first, gotten primer filler, and then did that. Waited, then sanded, then used primer, and then used the final color. I didn't do that. I used primer, then primer filler, because I went to the shop. I brought turquoise color. I painted it, but then it's like, it lacks the metallic aspect of it. I have here some silver. I'm gonna like cloud it, use like spray it from afar. It didn't work. It didn't work. It spurted onto the finish, and I was like, maybe I can do like a burst, like silver around. I have no experience. These cans are not prepared for this sort of thing. I end up just covering the whole turquoise with gunmetal silver. Again, I don't. Why do I do this when I'm frustrated? It makes no sense. So yeah, So that was the point of this stream. I have ordered a guitar kit, a Strat guitar kit, from an eBay seller that has them on sale or on bidding auction for really low amounts of money usually. And I bid the £57, and immediately they accepted it, to the point that they closed the bidding and they shipped it. But they didn't ship it straight away, so it's on UPS or something. I'm gonna wait until next week. So it's a disadvantage, for example, compared with Koban, that you get it shipped the next day, and you have DPD. Here it's taking 3 or 4 days, whenever it's gonna arrive. But it's a mahogany body, Strat, rosewood fretboard, and maple neck. So I was thinking of doing some color. I'm gonna either do a stain, I can do a full color. Not completely decided on what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if you have any suggestions. Leave it in the comments. I have red, yellow, which might not be great. I have some stains. Well, Peter has some stains that are still in my garage. Or I could paint it a color from the high coat range. I did get orange, because I have the card that's orange and I already have a blue guitar, and living in Blackpool, orange tangerine, it's a very popular color. So I thought maybe doing that, and then leaving the guitar somewhere that is seen by the football fans, or someone here might like to have an orange Strat because of the association with Blackpool, or take it to the bootleg, or something like that. I thought it could be a cool idea. So there you go. If no one else has any questions on or any comments on these new Epiphones, basically my my sort of conclusion with the Epiphones is, I'm glad that you're doing it, because it's what I've wanted Epiphone to do for the longest time, which is, okay, if we put all the components and all the specs of an actual Gibson in an Epiphone, how much will it be, and will it be a good guitar? And now we can answer that question. They did exactly that. So now we can go ahead and try to compare. It's relative, because I was never going to buy a Gibson ES355 because it's just too much money that I don't have, or I don't want to get into a finance deal to pay £100 for 5 or 6 years. So I'm never gonna do that. I've built guitars and I know how much work it goes into it, and it's sort of limited by what the kits come. So, and the kit is not even an alternative, really, because if you think about it, so £200 for the kit, right? And then you have £100 easy, £100 easy just to finish it, between polishing materials, if you're doing it nitro, or even poly, because you need to buy the urethane 2K to do it properly. It's not like, oh, I can get a finish in high coats, and yes, but grain filler, sanding sealer, primer, color, abundant gloss, and then the materials required to sand, to level sands, to do the thing, not even paying for the time, and then get Grover tuners and equipable tailpiece and everything, and then £500. Even if you don't go for the £500, if you go to, I'm not talking Iron Gear, if you go Seymour Duncan, which is £300 for pickups, or LOL or something, because those are the levels that we're talking about. I'm not sure if, so 300, 600, it's easily £700 to build yourself, and then you have to think of all the tools and the know-how and to get it proper, and then the dimensions might be slightly off. It doesn't have the same level of binding, it doesn't have the same level of customization, everything. And then at the end you have a guitar that I find quite hard to move along. Sorry. So although it is hard to understand why an Epiphone is £1,200, the £500 one still exists, and the used one still exists. And for example, Vintage, the JHS brand, sells a Pelham Blue semi-hollow with the Bigsby for £600 or whatever it is. So will Wilkinson hardware and everything. So there are alternatives. I appreciate Epiphone going for it, and I think they're going precisely after Eastman, because the same people that would buy an Eastman, because it's not a Gibson, might buy an Epiphone. And Epiphone is in way more shops, so it's more readily available. And if shops pay back, because shops don't give a lot of money on trade-ins on most brands, but if it's an Epiphone, they might be more willing to give at least more than half of what the guitar cost. I don't know. It might not be for me, especially in the colors that they do. I would like to have the Dave Grohl one, but I would have liked it to have either ebony or rosewood fretboards. The Indian Laurel is a bit meh, but then again, maybe it's just in my head once I try one and I see one. And one more thing, sorry, and then I'll go. These are introductory prices, right? So they come out at that price. Then there's sales. Then there's the used market. Then it allows us to trade in to get that thing. There's finance. So it gives existing is better than not existing. I prefer that they release these products and they exist and it pushes the competition. And although you could technically get a Gibson for less than an Epiphone, I like that it exists. I think it's a cool thing, and they should do more. Maybe in limited numbers, like they do with other things. Like I've always wanted the Les Paul Custom, but it never looked quite right. Now it's sort of instead of I will never be able to buy a 6001, but now I can get, which in the past I've called Epiphones memorabilia for Gibson. It's like it's not a real guitar in itself because it feels way more plasticky. But maybe I'm wrong. Well, who's to say? Thank you so much, everyone. I think I need to go out to the shops when they have stock and try them myself. In the meantime, I have gigs to prepare to. I have guitars to play. Too many guitars to play. And things to do. And I have paint to dry, which I've left to dry. Now it's drying. It's in the garage. It's drying. I won't touch it until Sunday at least. So yeah, Monday might get the new kit, although I don't know what I'm going to do with it, because if I don't want to sink more money into it. So I might just paint it and then sell the body and the neck separately. Like, here you go, a body and the neck with painted. eBay, £70, which is what I spent. Go ahead, just for the experience of doing it, which is a very dumb way of doing things. Anyhow, thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.